Welcome to another video. In this episode, we'll be dealing with an article. I want to say all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. This video will be entitled Best Places to Live in the USA If Nuclear War Breaks Out. And it's going to come by way of the article that I stumbled upon a few weeks ago, to be exact. A few weeks ago, I came across this article and I basically just bookmarked it and saved it. And then emailed it to myself so I could bring it up and do a lesson. Now is the time for that lesson. So this is from a website entitled Metro News, but not as you know it, right? Metro. So there's an article that says, and you know, a lot of prophetic things are going on and people are in an uproar. They see the prophets out on the highways and hedges, which are these Hebrew Israelite brothers that you see all over the place. Those are the prophets of the Heavenly Father, the one you call God, all right, whose name is Yahweh. Anyway, they and we have been prophesying of nuclear destruction for some time to come. I believe most of the people do believe what we're saying. They think it's far-fetched, but they also know it's a possibility. And we told you for a long time that nuclear destruction would happen to America. So, you got a lot of different little articles, and it's being, nuclear fears are heightened because of the Russia-Ukraine war. Also with what Israel and Hamas and just different nations are saber rattling. And I thought I saw an article the other day that something to the effect of these multinational forces, or I don't know how many nations it was. I want to say 20 nations, 37, something like that, have sent troops over to Ukraine to fight. Now, I don't know if that's true or not because I hadn't had a chance to verify that. But either way, here's an article that says map reveals best places to live in the U.S. if nuclear war breaks out. And I'm just going to go ahead and give you the answer. The best place to live if nuclear war breaks out in America would be no place, because eventually all of America from coast to coast is going to be devoured by nuclear fire. Okay. So let's first, before we read this article, let's go right to the scripture. Now we're going to read, and you know what? Let's go to Revelation. Let's go to Revelation chapter 6, right? And around about verse 12. This is what it says. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal. And lo, there was a great earthquake. Now remember that phrase, great earthquake. And the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And the stars of heaven fell into the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. So John the Revelator is explaining or describing, looking into the sky and seeing something falling out of the heavens. He described them as stars, the way that figs would fall out of a tree if a wind was blowing it. It goes on, and the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together. Now, what does that mean? Heaven departing as a scroll when it's rolled together. You see it right here, right? The nuclear weapons come down. The plume of wind, fire, radiation, heat goes up, rolls under itself and goes out over a mass area. That's a nuclear explosion. We call it a mushroom cloud. Let's read that again. It says, in the heaven, which is the sky above the earth, departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, right? And every mountain and island were moved out of their places. So what is that talking about? Well, it's going into that great earthquake. A great earthquake on the planet that, started by nuclear destruction, to the point that mountains were falling and islands were moved out of their places. Okay. Now, if we can get real quick, let's go to Isaiah. And where is this location? This is none other than Babylon the Great. You can read about it also in Isaiah 34. Right here it says the Most High's wrath against nations. We may come back and read that. Let's go ahead and read it. It says, come near ye nations to hear, and hearken ye people. Let the earth hear and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. So everybody's going to hear this message. It says, for the indignation, which is righteous anger, of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. And this slaughter is going to be Armageddon. The Bible calls it Armageddon. We say World War III. That's the great slaughter that all nations' armies are going to be delivered to. And bear with me, Salakia. So this is verse 3. It says, their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, dead bodies with a stench, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. Listen to this. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. Same thing described in Revelation 6. And all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf fallen from off the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. Same as Revelation 6. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. What's the Lord's sword? In this regard, it's talking about a nuclear warheads, right? That's the sword of the Lord bathed in the heavens, the atmosphere above the earth. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. Who is Idumea? That's Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. What's the main place that the Edomites rule from? America, Babylon the Great, heading up the Roman Empire, which is America, NATO, and the EU, all together a great empire. Okay, the Roman Empire spoken about in Daniel chapter 2, verse 44. That last part of the great image, wherein the stone came and smote the toes in the powder. It goes on, and behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Okay. To show you this, the end time prophecy, verse 8 says, for it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion, for what you did to the Israelites. Okay, bottom line. Now we can go and read, because you see two scriptures there clearly describing nuclear fallout, mushroom cloud, fire. And even if we read 34 a little farther, it says right here, verse 9, and the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. It's going to be like a tar pit. It shall not be quenched night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever. From generation to generation it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever. You see? So this is the day of the Lord right here spoken of. The day of the Lord's vengeance. And it's going to come on America, Babylon the Great. And deep down, you people, you know it. You know it deep down. This article is really bugging me. So let's read a little bit of this. Map reveals best places to live in the U.S. if nuclear war breaks out. Now, there may be a place you would rather be. You know, if a small nuclear explosion goes off. But on a whole, this whole thing gonna be destroyed eventually. Let's read it. It says, as fears of a nuclear apocalypse and World War III abound, some prospective homeowners in the U.S. may want to consider the locations they're looking for property in. Real estate experts have concluded that the places in America that are best suited for nuclear war survival, which there won't be any survivors, are in remote and rural areas with warm climate and access to water and farmland. They have recommended against densely populated urban cities and places with mass transportation, shopping centers, and other convenient amenities that are traditionally desirable for living. So all you that live in them cities, right, that's the wrong place to be. But it's not going to make a difference, because all this shit going in, it's going to be all destroyed. It goes on, in the event of nuclear war, the location of your home can determine your chances for survival. Andrew Ragusa, who is the CEO of REMI Realty on Long Island, New York, told the Daily Mail. This is what he said. What used to be important when purchasing a home, such as a great school, such as a great school district close to shopping and near public transportation, has now changed to warm climate, access to food, and access to water. Parts of California, Florida, and Texas that are away from their big cities like San Francisco, Miami, and Houston are ideal because they are near water and have good weather. If you're near water, you will always be near food, and water can be ingested after it has been desalinated, said Ragusa. And then they got a picture here of Vladimir Putin. It says the broker also advised on buying homes in states along the Mississippi River, including Arkansas, Illinois, Iowa, Kentucky, Louisiana, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Tennessee, and Wisconsin. They go on. They say Russia escalated nuclear threats in the midst of its war on Ukraine. North Korea's nuclear arsenal has also been growing. Last week were elevated as the doomsday clock was set at 90 seconds to midnight, and the threat of nuclear catastrophe had never been so great. And don't forget, you got them guys out there in the corners with those fabulous garments on, prophesying your downfall, telling you that nuclear war is coming. Another real estate expert, agent editorial board chair Jason Edwards, suggested the Midwest and Southeast due to their access to fresh water and farmland, and the Rocky Mountains, which are difficult for nuclear warheads to reach. Give me a break. Them nuclear warheads will hit the Rocky Mountains, and we just read it in the scriptures. Every mountain is going to be moved out of its place, so you can just kill that. Okay. It says the elevation of the Rocky Mountains the elevation of the Rocky Mountains means that fallout will be dispersed more quickly and assisted by higher winds, which could help to minimize any radioactive material reaching the area, Edwards told the Daily Mail. Blah, blah, blah. All of this is wishful thinking. You people can keep on trying to, pep yourselves up to thinking that you can actually survive a nuclear attack. It's not going to matter because pursuant to the Bible, all of America is going to be destroyed with the nuclear destruction. So it doesn't make a difference where you move to. Not going to matter. All right. So you see here from the map. See if I can make it bigger. No. Okay. So from the map, it says, and you can see Rocky Mountains, rugged, remote, hard to find. California, warm climate, lots of water. Mississippi banks is different, states. Florida, rural areas. North Carolina, great weather and farmland. Midwest, good place to build a shelter. Nebraska, far enough from nuclear blast sites. But it's not going to matter because the fire is going to sweep from one side to the other. So it doesn't matter where you are. Let's get it in the scriptures now. And, and the great thing is that this is on the minds of people. They're worried about it. They're writing articles about it. It's in their heads. It's in their minds. They're already thinking about it. Then they run into us on the corners of every street damn near you own. And we in every one of these areas that's mentioned. We got brothers in Nebraska. We all over the Midwest, Kentucky, Chicago, Indiana. You name it. We there. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We in Ohio, Cleveland. We everywhere. We got a camp in Denver. We got several camps in California, Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco. We up there in Seattle, Washington. We got Mississippi camp. We got Minnesota. Well, we had Minnesota brothers. We got brothers in Green Bay. Milwaukee, right? We got brothers in Iowa, Illinois, which is Chicago, Missouri, and both St. Louis and Kansas City. Brothers in Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana, several camps in Florida, several in North Carolina, South Carolina. We're all over the East Coast. No matter where you go, you're going to run into brothers prophesying your downfall. And really just reading this article, just to get a kick out of your fear. Because we read this to you in Isaiah 34. Now, if we go back to Revelation 6, it spoke of a great earthquake. And we're going to go back and read a little bit of that briefly. But if we do, this right here in Zephaniah talks about the day of the Lord, which links up with Isaiah 34 that we just read. Zephaniah 1:14, the great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wastiness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers, no matter where you at. And I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men. Why? Because they have sinned against the Lord, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. So when men hear those nuclear sirens, the distress is going to be on them. They're already distressed as it is. And it's only going to get worse. It says, neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. It's not going to matter how much money you got. And the majority of you going to take the mark of the beast anyway. Rich people are going to take the mark of the beast to try to keep their wealth, and you're going to doom yourself. But the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. You see that? So the Lord said it's going to devour the whole land, his anger. When you read in Revelation 6 and it talked about there was a great earthquake, that's going to be started by nuclear destruction. When we read in Revelation 16, let's go down here to the bottom right here where it says Armageddon. This is Revelation 16 and 15. It says, behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. Now, when it said here, blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, that's the truth, the understanding of the truth. Without it, you will be naked and you will be ashamed. So it says, and he gathered them into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon, which currently men are being gathered to go and fight. World War III, Armageddon. Read about it in Isaiah 34, linking it back to Revelation 6. And that place Idumea is none other than Babylon the Great. In the spirit, it's the spiritual Idumea, which is Babylon the Great, which is America. Verse 17, and the seventh angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple from the throne, saying, it is done. And there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake. Same event. Isaiah 34, Revelation 6, same event. And there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth. So mighty an earthquake and so great. So this earthquake is not going to be caused by normal means. This is going to be the worst earthquake that's ever been. It won't matter where you are on this place right here. This shit going to split into three. And then it's going to be completely destroyed. It goes on. And the great city was divided into three parts. And the cities of the nations fell. And great Babylon came in remembrance before the Most High, to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. See that? So the Rocky Mountains going to be gone. The Sierra Madre is gone. The Appalachian Mountains gone. The Smoky Mountains gone. You see? And them different island nations, the different countries, you try to run to Trinidad, Barbados, Jamaica, Virgin Islands, Bahamas, gone. It's not going to matter. Different island nations, Indonesia, tsunamis, untold, terrible calamities. Okay? The only way you're going to get out of this is the Lord is with you. Now, we know that all nations won't be destroyed, just America mainly. And Israel going to get hit, and it's going to get destroyed too. But the rest of the world going to be pretty much intact, but there's going to be all kind of, terrible disasters all over it. A lot of people going to die. It says, and there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven. What's that great hail? It's the same thing that John the Revelator described in Revelation 6 and Isaiah described in Isaiah 34. These great hail coming out of heaven, you see, which are John the Revelator also described them as great figs, or stars falling from heaven to the earth, as a fig tree casting out figs when it's blown by a mighty wind. And there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent. These are nuclear warheads, and men blasphemed the Most High because of the plague of hail, for the plague thereof was exceeding great. It was more than sufficient. It was terrible. All right, so let's get ready to close this lesson out, but I want to read you something real quick. The destruction and the escape of the elect. Now, this is Revelation 11 and 12. It says, and this is talking about the Israelites. It says, and they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. This is the elect getting beamed up into the chariots of the Lord, escaping the nuclear destruction and leaving the rest of everybody else in Babylon the Great to die. So those guys you see on the highways preaching the gospel, they may very well be some of the ones that escape while you talking shit gonna get left here and melted and destroyed, pelted with those nuclear warheads. That great hail from heaven is gonna fall upon you and it's gonna close your mouth. But you're gonna still open your mouth to yell and scream, but your taunting will be no more. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. So the elect got beamed up into a chariot. And you got Israelites, a lot of them who don't believe in it. This new group, these elders of Israel, said, yo, you gonna get beamed up into a UFO. A UFO will come pick you up. Your stupid ass. The Lord's gonna destroy you old niggas, you old bottles. The Lord's gonna get rid of you too. You Christian pastors, you ministers that are Israelites, but you still taking that 501c3 money. The Lord will get rid of you. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud. The elect got beamed up, and their enemies beheld them. So everybody that's not of the elect gonna watch the elect get beamed up, and you're gonna be destroyed. Now it says, as soon as the elect went up, and the same hour was there a great earthquake. That's the same great earthquake. Revelation 16, Revelation chapter 6, with the nuclear mushroom cloud from Revelation 6 and from Isaiah 34. Okay. And the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. What does that mean? Well, let's look at it. America is divided up into 10 FEMA regions or zones. Roman numeral 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. When it says the 10th part of the city fell, wherever the nuclear shock wave hit, it swept from one end to the other, devouring all 10 FEMA regions. You can see it here. Same way. And we didn't make this up, but the apostles and elders are the only ones that broke this down. Yo punk ass Israelites that you watch it, y'all Israelites didn't break this down. Bishop Nate didn't break this down. There's no videos out there you're going to see Bishop Nate breaking this down from way back. Our elders and apostles, through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, the only ones that broke this down. Your goofy, your young upstart teachers, Watchmen for Israel, they didn't break it down. They weren't even around. Sakari didn't break it down. IUIC didn't do it. ISUPK didn't do it. You ain't got it. And damn sure your elders of Israel, none of you Jewish Israelites, none of you Yah Israelites, you ain't breaking nothing down, man. Be quiet. So that's what the 10th part of the city fell means. All 10 FEMA zones were destroyed. And we know for a fact, unequivocally, that this is America. Now, Esau might watch it. Well, see what it really means. Now there are 11 FEMA zones. So that could be right. Yeah. Okay. Goodbye, devil. You can try to offset prophecy. It's not going to matter. And the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. And in the earthquake was slain of men 7,000. This 7 it means completion. So everybody in Babylon the Great was destroyed except the elect. It says, and in the earthquake was slain of men 7,000, and the remnant, which is the elect, were affrighted and gave glory to the God of heaven. So that fright was them being, almost being destroyed, or being barely making it out of here alive. That's what the fear is going to come from. All right. 1 Peter 4:17, for the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High among the Israelites. And if it first begin at us, what shall be the end of them that obey not the gospel of the Most High? Destruction. And if the righteous scarcely be saved. See, when you scarcely be saved, you barely made it. That's the great fear that fell upon the remnant. And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? Wherefore let them that suffer according to the will of the Most High commit the keeping of their souls to him in well doing, as unto a faithful creator. And we do. We commit our souls into a faithful creator who told us to prophesy against Mount Seir. All right. And tell him everything that's going to happen. maps and articles like these reveal that you're thinking about it. We inside your head, you thinking about it, and it's going to come to pass. Just a little while longer here in Babylon the Great. More prophesying still yet to be done. All wickedness will be vanquished in Babylon the Great. All you people been talking your shit. All your hard speeches against the Lord of hosts will be no more. And Lord willing, we be the ones that make it. All right, we'll see you again soon, Lord willing. All praise to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. The best place to live in the U.S. if nuclear war breaks out is no place, because this whole bitch gonna be destroyed. All right, Shalom.